enter the season of Lent with this story that takes place just after Jesus is baptized by John in the Jordan, and just before Jesus calls his disciples and begins teaching on the hillside. I have said to you before that I think this story is much more about seduction than it is temptation, and I'll tell you why. I'm reminded of Edmund in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, one of the books in C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia. Edmund is the third of 4 children. He is overshadowed by his older brother, Peter, and Edmund suffers from a lack of confidence that contributes to a rather unfortunate series of decisions. When the children enter the land of Narnia through the wardrobe, they encounter eternal winter, brought about by the despicable queen. The queen approaches Edmund and tempts him with the sugary concoction, Turkish delight, and some warm and wonderful hot cocoa as well. Thus begins Edmund's turn toward the despicable queen and away from the lion Aslan and his brothers and sisters and all that represents. You see, without an exception, temptation looks and feels delicious. It is part of our very humanity to seek out that which we believe is positive, pleasurable, and good. We always embark upon the road to perdition with the belief that it is, in fact, a good. That is the nature of seduction. It begins with a beautiful face. It begins with a red, ripe apple. It begins with mouth-watering tastiness. It begins with the promise of relief, escape, pleasure. It begins in wonder and amazement, but it does not end well. And yet, often, we are powerless to know it or to see it. The great seducer in our gospel today shows Jesus 3 wonderful and amazing things. First, stones that may become bread. It may be hard to imagine yourself as Jesus, or not, but try for a moment. You are concerned about poverty and starvation all over the known world. Your instructions to those who follow you are to feed the hungry. Over and over, you ask your friends and followers to feed the hungry. And here, you are presented with a solution to world hunger. Command these stones to become bread. That's it. That's all it takes. There are enough stones in the world. If they all become bread, there would be no child going to bed hungry at night. Who wouldn't say yes? Feeding people is good, isn't it? Second, ultimate safety. If you were unable to be hurt, would you not be able to continue to relieve world hunger forever and for always? If you were unable to be hurt, would you not be able to love everyone all the time? If you are unable to be hurt, would you not have to go to the cross and die? Sounds like a good, doesn't it? Third, authority. Everyone and everything answering to you. With ultimate authority, everyone would follow your rules, and your rules are good rules. Love your neighbor, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the sick and the imprisoned. The world would be perfect if you were in charge. What's so wrong with this seed? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. That is the nature of seduction. It looks so good. It tastes so good. It feels so good. It's got to be right. We are human after all. What makes this story so powerful is that we have been there. Each and every one of us has been there. We may even be there yet today. This is about Jesus, and it is about each one of us. You see, it isn't black and white, right or wrong. It isn't obvious or clear, and don't let anyone seduce you into thinking that it is. This journey of life is full of choices, which is God's gift to us. Choice. And a pile of love to go with it. Even Jesus had the choice. The choice to follow the seducer. The choice to give in to the pain and suffering of his journey. The choice to walk away from the cross. So what does this journey look like? We are on a journey together, you and me and all the others. All the best heroes have their posses with them. Edmund had his brother and sisters and all the animals of Narnia. Luke had Han Solo, Leia, Chewbacca, and the Holy Trinity of Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Yoda. Harry has Hermione, and Ron, and the whole Weasley family. Woody has Buzz, Mr. Potato Head, Rex, and Ham. You get the picture. We take this journey together. Together, we share the strength, the wisdom, the courage to make choices, good or bad, right or wrong. I do have to interject at this time one thought about the hymn coming up that we are singing that I chose for today. Jesus walked that lonesome valley. He had to walk it by himself, which is on opposition to what I just said about taking this journey together. That happens to be one of my favorite spirituals, and yet I disagree with its theology. So there you have it. It isn't right or wrong. It isn't good or bad. Us humans live daily, maybe even moment by moment, in the reality of this seduction. It is being fully human after all. What is so amazing is the love that God has for us, and the forgiveness that God is willing to heap upon us time after time after time. We miss the mark, And Jesus stands with us, surrounded by our company of friends, loved ones, supporters. And Jesus puts his arms around our shoulders, straightens us out, gives us the courage and the strength, and shows us how to hit the mark dead center. And while the enemy arrow comes right at him, Jesus also says, "Let me step into your place and take that arrow for you." In our lifetimes, we don't ever feel the absence of seduction and temptation. We are, however, forgiven. And that is where we begin this journey of Lent, in the place of examination and forgiveness. We have this opportunity to turn to God, to examine ourselves, to ask for forgiveness, to look upon our mortality and fall on our knees and ask for the help we need, because we cannot do it on our own. We cannot walk this journey without the one who created us, the one who walks with us and one another. To believe we can is to succumb to the seduction of vanity, self-absorption, egotism, and selfishness. On Ash Wednesday, I invited you to think about that which you would fast from this Lent. It is not about giving up something you love, but it is about abstaining from that which gets in the way of your relationship with God and with one another. What seduces you into believing that you can walk this journey on your own? What seduces you into believing that you are right and others are wrong? What seduces you into believing that you are immortal and whatever you eat or drink or smoke won't harm your mortal body? What seduces you into believing that you are the center of your life and others' lives? What is it that you will abstain from this Lent? I invite you to journey together. I invite you to a holy Lent. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. Come, let us adore him.